Not only but also used to present two related pieces of information. The restaurant is not only popular but also known for its unique menu. The trip was not only fun but also educational for everyone who participated. He's not only hardworking but also very creative in solving complex problems. She's not only intelligent but also incredibly kind and empathetic towards others. Eventually, at an unspecified later time, in the end, they got lost, but eventually found their way back to the main destination. After several setbacks, they eventually completed the final project on time. She worked hard and eventually earned the promotion she had been aiming for. The negotiations were tough, but they eventually reached a favorable agreement. Whereas, to indicate a contrast between two facts or ideas. The old plan was complicated, whereas the new one was simple and efficient. The city center is bustling and noisy, whereas the suburbs are quiet and peaceful. The new policy will improve efficiency, whereas the old system often causes delays. She enjoys spending her vacations in the Alps, whereas her husband favors the beach. At the same time, existing or occurring at the same time. He studied for exams, at the same time, he managed to keep up with his job. She was working hard, at the same time, she was also taking care of her family. He was learning new skills, at the same time, he was teaching his other friends. She was planning the event, at the same time, she was managing other projects. In fact, something that has actual existence. He's very talented, in fact, he won several awards for his artwork last year. He's a skilled musician, in fact, he plays 3 different instruments fluently. She's a great leader, in fact, she was promoted to manager within just 2 years. The weather was nice, in fact, it was the best day they had during their entire trip. As long as say one thing is true only if another thing is true. The team will finish the project on time as long as there are no unexpected delays. As long as the weather remains clear, we can continue our hike without any issues. The grant will be awarded as long as the project proposal meets all the specified criteria. We can keep the summit on schedule as long as everyone arrives on time and stays focused. So that subsequently or soon afterward, She saved money so that she could take a trip to Europe next summer. She organized her time so that she could complete all tasks by the deadline. They practiced daily so that they would perform well at the dance competition. He prepared notes so that he could give a well-structured presentation tomorrow. Although, regardless of the fact that, although the weather was cold, they went hiking in the mountains for hours. He continued working although he was feeling incredibly tired after the long day. Although the movie was long, the audience remained captivated until the very end. The event was successful, although a few minor issues arose during the planning stage. Accordingly, in a way that is suitable, the budget was reduced. Accordingly, they made cuts to several departments. The rules were updated. Accordingly, everyone had to follow the new guidelines. She noticed the change in trends and adjusted her marketing strategy accordingly. The weather forecast predicted rain. Accordingly, they brought umbrellas just in case. Over time, indicating for a long period of time. Over time, the old government building began to show signs of wear and tear. Her confidence grew over time as she gained more experience in public speaking. Over time, the company expanded its operations to multiple international markets. The garden flourished over time, with flowers blooming in every corner of the yard. Even though, despite the fact that, even though it was late, he decided to finish the project before sleeping. He succeeded even though the odds were stacked against him from the start. Even though he was new to the job, he quickly became a valuable team member. She remained calm even though the situation was chaotic and tense for everyone. Moreover, used for introducing additional facts. The house is spacious. Moreover, it's located in a very quiet neighborhood. He's diligent. Moreover, he's always willing to help his colleagues when needed. The food was delicious. Moreover, the service at the restaurant was exceptional. The movie was well directed. Moreover, the acting was superb and very convincing. Conversely, introducing statement that says opposite thing. She enjoys winter. Conversely, her brother prefers the warmth of summer. The morning was chaotic. Conversely, the afternoon was calm and productive. He likes working alone. Conversely, his colleague thrives in team environments. The product is expensive. Conversely, it's known for its high quality and durability. On account of. Introduce the reason or explanation for something. She couldn't attend the meeting on account of a sudden illness that morning. He missed his flight on account of heavy traffic during the morning commute. The event was postponed on account of unexpected technical issues at the venue. The trip was cancelled on account of unforeseen conditions that arose last minute. Such as. To introduce an example or examples of something. She's interested in hobbies such as painting, photography, and knitting. The city has many attractions such as museums, parks, and historic landmarks. The school offers a variety of courses such as mathematics, science, and literature. The company provides services such as consulting, training, and technical support. If. To indicate suppositions or hypothetical conditions. If you finish your work early, we can go out for dinner before the movie. If the weather is good this weekend, we might go hiking in the nearby national park. If you have any questions about the report, please feel free to ask me for clarification. If the train is delayed, we will have to find an alternative way to reach our destination. Therefore. As a result, or consequence. He saved money consistently, therefore, he could afford the trip to Europe. She completed the project ahead of schedule, therefore, she took the next day off. She studied diligently for months, therefore, she passed the exam with high marks. The presentation was poorly prepared, therefore, the audience lost interest quickly. In the meantime. In the period of time between two events. The laundry is drying, in the meantime, she's cleaning the rest of the house. The car is being repaired, in the meantime, they are exploring the nearby shops. The team is reviewing the offer, in the meantime, he's preparing the presentation. The documents are printed, in the meantime, he's organizing the files on his desk. In particular. Specifically distinguished from others. He's good at sports, in particular, he excels at playing basketball and soccer. She enjoys reading, in particular, she loves mystery and thriller novels the most. He's interested in science, in particular, physics and astronomy captivate his attention. The museum is fascinating, in particular, the ancient artifacts are especially impressive. On the other hand, used to introduce a contrasting point of view. The restaurant is popular, on the other hand, it's often crowded and noisy. She's creative. On the other hand, she sometimes fights with time management. The project was successful. On the other hand, it exceeded the budget significantly. The movie was entertaining. On the other hand, the plot was somewhat predictable. Nonetheless, despite what has just been said or referred to, the trip was long. Nonetheless, they enjoyed every moment of their vacation. The task was difficult. Nonetheless, they completed it on time and with quality. He lacked experience. Nonetheless, he performed remarkably well in his new job. She faced challenges. Nonetheless, she remained determined to achieve her goals. Besides, over and above, in addition to, the movie was great. Besides, the special effects were absolutely stunning. They had a great time. Besides, they made many new friends during the trip. He's busy with work. Besides, he's also taking evening classes at the university. They offered a great deal on the car, but besides that, the service was excellent. Owing to introducing the reason for something. Owing to her extensive experience, she was selected for the leadership position. Owing to the heavy rain, the outdoor concert was postponed until next weekend. The flight was delayed owing to bad weather conditions at the destination airport. The match was postponed owing to unexpected technical difficulties at the stadium. Subsequently, at a later or subsequent time, they ran out of time. Subsequently, the event had to be rescheduled for later. The project was delayed. Subsequently, the launch date had to be pushed back. He received new instructions. Subsequently, he adjusted his approach to the task. The team faced setbacks. Subsequently, they revised their strategy to tackle issues. Hence, that is the reason or explanation for. She studied hard, hence, she passed the difficult exam with flying colors. The weather was bad, hence, they decided to postpone the outdoor event. He saved diligently, hence, he could afford the trip to Europe next summer. The project was successful, hence, they received extra funding for future work. In the past. Gone by in time and no longer exist. In the past, she worked in a different industry before switching to marketing. In the past, the company focused on local markets before expanding globally. In the past, he struggled with confidence, but now he speaks publicly with ease. In the past, This region was primarily agricultural before industrialization took over. Traditionally. As part of a long-established custom. Traditionally, the holiday season is a time for giving and sharing with others. Traditionally, the family gathers every Sunday for a big meal and celebration. Traditionally, the role of the leader has been passed down through generations. Traditionally, people wear red during the new year to bring good luck and fortune. Such as. Similar to like for introducing examples. He likes to cook dishes such as pasta, stir-fries, and homemade pizzas. They visited several landmarks, such as the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre Museum. The museum displays various artifacts, such as ancient pottery, tools, and jewelry. The library offers many resources, such as books, magazines, and online databases. Furthermore, used when adding a connected statement. He's highly skilled. Furthermore, he's always willing to help his colleagues. The project was completed on time. Furthermore, it exceeded all expectations. The book is well written. Furthermore, it provides valuable insights into the topic. She's a talented artist. Furthermore, she's also an excellent musician and composer. Notably, in a way that attracts or deserves attention. The event was successful, notably attracting a large and diverse audience. The presentation was excellent, notably covering all key points in a clear manner. The project exceeded expectations, notably delivering results ahead of schedule. The company expanded rapidly, notably opening new offices in several countries. Above and beyond all other considerations, he's a talented musician. Above all, he's also a kind and generous person. She's an excellent leader. Above all, she's compassionate and understanding. The team worked hard. Above all, they showed great perseverance in tough times. The event was well organized. Above all, it created lasting memories for everyone. Likewise, in the same way or manner, similarly, she's interested in art. Likewise, her sister is also passionate about painting. He loves playing sports. Likewise, his friends are all very athletic and competitive. She enjoys traveling. Likewise, he's always looking for new destinations to explore. The company values innovation. Likewise, it supports creativity among employees. Despite without being affected by. They managed to win the game despite being down by several points earlier. She finished the marathon despite the pain in her injured leg throughout the race. Despite the harsh criticism, he continued pursuing his passion for art and painting. He completed the project on time despite the numerous obstacles and tight deadlines. Simultaneously. Existing or occurring at the same time. The two trains arrived at the station simultaneously, causing a brief confusion. They worked on their individual tasks simultaneously to complete the project faster. The lights went out simultaneously across the entire neighborhood during the storm. The audience clapped simultaneously as the performer took the stage for his encore. Regardless. Despite the prevailing circumstances. They continued their journey regardless of the worsening weather conditions. She decided to pursue her dreams regardless of the challenges that lay ahead. The event proceeded as planned, regardless of the unexpected technical issues. He expressed his opinion regardless of the potential backlash from the audience. Likewise. Under other circumstances. He completed the task quickly. Likewise, the rest of the team finished early. She offered help, and likewise, he supported her when she needed assistance. She apologized sincerely, and likewise, he approved his mistakes and apologized. He expressed his concerns, and likewise, others in the group shared their worries. In other words, to explain something more clearly, the project was delayed. In other words, it didn't meet the initial deadline. She wasn't interested. In other words, she declined the invitation respectfully. The experiment failed. In other words, they need to reconsider their approach. The book is quite challenging to understand. In other words, it's not an easy read. On the contrary. Used to add to a negative statement. She thought it was easy. On the contrary, the task was quite difficult. The weather seemed clear. On the contrary, it started raining unexpectedly. They expected him to fail. On the contrary, he excelled beyond expectations. They assumed she was shy. On the contrary, she was very outgoing and sociable. Due to. Because of something. They closed the road due to a severe accident that occurred earlier today. He lost his job due to company-wide layoffs during the economic downturn. The event was postponed due to a scheduling conflict with another major event. The flight was delayed due to bad weather conditions affecting the entire region. Meanwhile, in the intervening period of time, he was reading a book. Meanwhile, the kids were playing in the backyard. He was cooking dinner. Meanwhile, she was setting the table for their meal. The team was practicing. Meanwhile, the coach was planning the next strategy. She was on vacation. Meanwhile, her colleagues were busy with a big assignment. As soon as, in the shortest possible time. As soon as the clock struck midnight, the fireworks began lighting up the sky. She began working on the project as soon as the client approved the proposal. She called her friend as soon as she received the good news about the situation. As soon as she finished her presentation, her colleagues started asking questions. Because of, for the reason that they had to cancel the picnic because of the sudden rainstorm yesterday. She was promoted quickly because of her exceptional skills and strong leadership. He succeeded in his exams because of his consistent hard work and determination. The match was delayed because of the unexpected technical difficulties at the venue. However, used for giving surprising information. He applied for the job. However, he wasn't confident about getting selected. The movie received mixed reviews. However, it became a box office success. The weather was sunny. However, the forecast predicted rain later in the day. She wanted to leave early. However, she stayed until the meeting was finished. Thus, in the way just indicated, she saved money diligently. Thus, she was able to buy a fashionable car. He studied hard. Thus, he achieved the highest grade in his class this semester. He followed the instructions carefully. Thus, the experiment was a great success. She trained daily. Thus, she improved her performance radically in the competition. As a result, because of something that has happened, she studied regularly. As a result, she passed her exams with excellent grades. She worked overtime. As a result, she completed the project ahead of schedule. The team practiced hard. As a result, they won the championship with flying colors. The company innovated. As a result, its profits increased significantly over the year. Until up to the point in time or the event mentioned. We won't know the results of the experiment until all the data has been analyzed. He won't be able to join us for dinner until his meeting wraps up later this evening. The new policy will not take effect until it has been officially announced to the public. The construction work will continue until the building passes all the safety inspections. In order to, with the aim or purpose of doing something. They worked overtime in order to finish the project before the deadline. He took an advanced course in order to gain the necessary skills for his promotion. We need to make several changes in order to meet the new regulatory requirements. She studied late into the night in order to prepare for the difficult exam the next day. While during the time that something else happens, he managed to stay calm while handling the stressful situation at work. While she was cooking dinner, her children did their homework at the kitchen table. While the sun set over the horizon, the sky was painted in shades of pink and orange. They explored the city's historic sites while on vacation, making the most of their trip. In case, as a provision against something happening or being true. We're keeping extra food in the pantry in case we have unexpected guests. In case of a fire, make sure you know the quickest route to the nearest departure. She packed a few extra batteries in her bag in case the flashlight ran out of power. You should save a copy of the report on your computer in case the original gets lost. Provided, on condition that, with the understanding, the event will take place outdoors provided the weather remains favorable. Provided that all the conditions are met, the project will be approved for funding. The grant will be awarded provided the application meets all the eligibility criteria. The team can access the confidential files provided they have the necessary clearance. In conclusion, to introduce the final comments at the end. In conclusion, the research findings have significant implications for the field. In conclusion, the evidence supports the hypothesis that was initially proposed. In conclusion, the company's strategy has proven effective in achieving its goals. In conclusion, the project was a success due to the team's hard work and dedication. Afterwards, later than, and next in time or place. They went out for dinner afterwards to celebrate the successful presentation. The meeting was intense. Afterwards, they took a break to relax and regroup. She studied hard for the exam. Afterwards, she treated herself to a movie night. She felt much better afterwards, having talked through her concerns with a friend. consequently. Something has to do with cause and effect. She didn't prepare well, consequently, her college presentation lacked clarity. They ignored the warnings, consequently, they faced significant challenges later. The team worked hard, consequently, they achieved their goals ahead of schedule. Paris is a smaller city than London and consequently has less of a suburban sprawl. Similarly, say that something is similar to something else. The company values creativity, similarly, it encourages innovative ideas. She loves painting, similarly, her sister is passionate about stone sculpture. The movie was entertaining, similarly, the book it was based on is highly suggested. The new policy was effective, similarly, the changes in the board were well received. Ultimately. Finally, after a series of things have happened. The project had its ups and downs, but ultimately it was a great success. She struggled with the decision but ultimately chose the best option for her. He worked hard and ultimately earned the promotion he had been aiming for. He faced many challenges but ultimately succeeded in achieving his career goals. With this in mind, to be careful of, or give attention to something. He made his decision with this in mind, considering all the possible outcomes. They approached the negotiation with this in mind, aiming for a fair agreement. She revised her strategy with this in mind, focusing on the most critical aspects. She planned the event carefully with this in mind, ensuring everything ran smoothly. Moreover, in addition to what has been said, the team performed well, moreover, they displayed excellent teamwork. The project was completed on time, moreover, it exceeded all expectations. The food was delicious, moreover, the presentation was beautiful and creative. The event was successful, moreover, it received positive feedback from attendees. Even though, despite the fact that although the team won the game, even though they were missing several key players. Even though it was late, they continued working until the project was finished. Even though the recipe seemed complicated, the dish turned out to be delicious. She managed to finish the task on time, even though she was feeling under the weather. To illustrate, to make something more clear or visible. She's very talented. To illustrate, she has won multiple awards for her work. The product is user-friendly. To illustrate, even beginners can navigate it easily. He's a great leader. To illustrate, his team always exceeds their goals with his help. The project was successful. To illustrate, it generated large revenue for the company. Whereby. By means of which or because of which. The school established a program whereby students can earn college credits. The treaty included a clause whereby both parties must keep the terms confidential. The organization created a process whereby feedback is collected from all members. The company introduced a policy whereby all decisions must be reviewed by the board. Since a particular time in the past until a later time. She's been working here since last year and has made significant progress. He's been practicing piano since he was a kid and is now an accomplished musician. They've been traveling since they graduated college and have visited many countries. She's been interested in art since childhood and now has a collection of her own work. Historically. With reference to past events. This building is historically significant as it was a meeting place for leaders. The castle has historically been a symbol of power and wealth in the kingdom. Historically, this region has been known for its rich cultural and artistic heritage. Historically, the city has faced numerous challenges but has always bounced back. Overall. In general, rather than in particular. He struggled initially. Overall, he performed well in his new job role. The trip had some issues. Overall, it was a fun and memorable experience. The project faced challenges. Overall, it was considered a success by the team. The meal was expensive. Overall, the dining experience was worth the price paid. Otherwise. In another way or ways, in a different manner. She reminded him to set an alarm, otherwise, he might oversleep for work. Please submit your report by the deadline, otherwise, it will not be considered. She should exercise regularly, otherwise, her health could deteriorate over time. The weather forecast predicts rain, otherwise, we would have gone to the beach. For example. Used for mentioning something as explanation. She's a great cook. For example, her homemade pasta is simply delicious. She loves desserts. For example, she can never resist a slice of chocolate cake. The city has many attractions. For example, the historic museum and lovely parks. The class was interactive, for example, they used group debate and hands-on projects. Unless, under any other circumstance than, unless the weather improves significantly, the outdoor wedding planned for Saturday will need to be moved indoors. You won't be able to access the conference materials unless you register for the event before the deadline. In spite of, regardless of, or even though. In spite of the heavy traffic, they managed to arrive at the concert on time and enjoyed the show. In spite of his lack of experience, he was able to complete the task efficiently and impress his colleagues. Prior to, before a particular time or event. Prior to making a final decision, the committee considered all the potential impacts of the proposed changes. The company implemented new safety protocols prior to opening the new factory to ensure employee well-being. For instance, to give something as an example. The report includes several case studies, for instance, the recent project in Asia that achieved remarkable results. For instance, if you want to learn a new language, practicing daily and immersing yourself in the culture can be very effective. Correspondingly, in a way that is similar to, connected with. The temperature dropped significantly, and correspondingly, the energy consumption for heating rose sharply. The company's profits increased substantially last quarter, correspondingly, the number of employees was also expanded. To clarify. To make something clear or easier to understand. To clarify, the meeting will start at 10 a.m., but please arrive 15 minutes early for preliminary discussions. The team leader provided additional details to clarify the new workflow and its impact on the project timeline. Similar to. Having the same or similar characteristics. The new software program functions similar to the previous version, with some added features and improvements. The economic situation in the country is similar to what was experienced during the last financial crisis. Nevertheless, despite what has just been said or referred to, the company faced numerous obstacles. Nevertheless, it achieved its annual targets and celebrated its achievements. Nevertheless, the new software had some initial bugs, which were quickly addressed by the development team. By comparison. The act of comparing two or more people or things. The city's cost of living is high. By comparison, rural areas offer much more affordable housing options. By comparison, the previous quarter's sales figures were lower than the current quarter's impressive results. To sum up. Give a brief summary of something. To sum up, the meeting highlighted the key challenges and proposed solutions to address them effectively. To sum up, the feedback from the participants was overwhelmingly positive, with a few minor suggestions for improvement. Therefore, in consequence of that, as a result, the project was completed ahead of schedule. Therefore, the team was able to start the next phase earlier than planned. The company's revenue has increased significantly this year. Therefore, they are expanding their operations to new markets. Comparatively. In comparison to some other person or thing. The new model is comparatively faster than the previous version, offering improved performance and efficiency. The recent product launch was comparatively more successful than earlier releases due to better marketing strategies. As for used when you are starting to talk about something. As for the budget, we have allocated sufficient funds for the marketing campaign and other essential expenses. As for the new policy, it will take effect next month and will be communicated to all employees shortly. On the other hand, from another side or aspect, conversely, the city offers numerous entertainment options. On the other hand, it can be quite expensive to live there. The new software is highly intuitive. On the other hand, it requires a significant investment to purchase and implement. So to speak. Describing something in an unusual or metaphorical way. The project was a rollercoaster ride, so to speak, with many ups and downs throughout its development. The idea was a shot in the dark, so to speak, but it turned out to be a highly successful and innovative approach. Particularly to a higher degree than is usual or average. The new policy is designed to address particularly complex issues that have been affecting employee productivity. The project was challenging, particularly due to the tight deadlines and high expectations from the client. As though. Used to describe how a situation seems to be. She acted as though she had been the team leader all along, confidently directing everyone's efforts. The house was decorated as though it were for a royal event, with extravagant ornaments and flowers everywhere. As if. Show that you do not believe something is possible. He spoke as if he had been to the destination many times before, even though it was his first visit. The room was decorated as if it were a set for a high-end fashion show, with elegant furnishings and lighting. In light of. Taking something into consideration. In light of recent developments, we have decided to postpone the launch of the new product. In light of the feedback from the survey, we will make several changes to improve customer satisfaction.